Good evening, all of you. Today I'm going to discuss last year questions that came into your exams. The paper first I'm going to discuss. This is the first question which came in the exam. Any three functions of philosophy of education. So I have already discussed last time with you what is the meaning of philosophy of education. Philosophy of education means philosophical interpretations of a education. Okay, I have discussed with you when philosophy is drawn out from the educational institution called philosophy of education. Guys, you have to understand that what is education. Education basically it is a full of problems. There is a problem of syllabus. There is a problem of sometime teachers. One teacher came from the south, one teacher came from the north. There is a difference between accent, and there are a lot of other problems that comes in the teaching learning process or the education process. When we solve these type of equations with the help of philosophical principles and philosophical application, it is called philosophy of education. In simple terms, philosophy of education is the philosophical interpretations of education, right? So when we apply the philosophical applications and philosophical principles to the field of education in order to solve the educational problems, it is called philosophy of education, right? Now these are the three functions of philosophy of educations. What are the functions of philosophy of education? Number first, determining the aims of education. What should be the aims of educations time to time? Today, what are the aims of educations? And 50 years back, 60 years back, what was the aims of education? These all of the aims of educations are determined by the philosophy of educations. Second function is harmonizing old and new traditions, right? So how we have to, with the help of educations, we have to preserve our culture and we have to introduce our culture in this generations. Third is that providing the educational planner and administrator and educators with the progressive visions of achieve educational development. हम एजुकेशन डेवलपमेंट कैसे कर सकते हैं, इस सारे के बारे में भी फिलॉसफी ऑफ एजुकेशन ने डिस्कस करना है हमारे साथ. फिलॉसफी ऑफ एजुकेशन ही हमें ये सब चीजें भी बताती है, राइट? सो डिटेल I will send you the PDF copy. Okay, details you can get from over there. Okay, second question is concept of metaphysics, which came into your last year paper. Metaphysics. What is metaphysics? Metaphysics I have already discussed with you. Okay, metaphysics means it talks about the theory of reality. Metaphysics basically it is a branch of the philosophy which talks about the what is reality behind this creation. We are looking ponds, rivers, there are a lot of things in this materialistic world, but what is his reality? Whether God exists or not exist, our actions are free or it was force, yeah, it was determined by the some external forces. What is time? What is our meaning of life? What we are, where we have to go after the death? So these all type of subjects are discussed under the subject metaphysics, okay, which is a first branch of the philosophy. This is your second questions, answer of your second questions. The third question which came, short questions we are discussing, the section C part. This is a third short questions which came in the last year paper 1. Write any three aims of naturalism. So here you have to discuss about you have to write first of all what is a naturalism and what are the three aims of educations of naturalism, right? Naturalism basically it is a philosophy which talks about the nature. They believe that nature is ultimate reality. Nature, everything exists, everything we are looking, this is only a nature. They don't believe any ultimate reality like in the idealism, right? They believe that nature is the nature is God. They don't believe the supernatural power. God is a supernatural power. They believe that nature is a God. Basically this philosophy believe that world is a matter. We have originated, everything in the universe has originated from the matter, right? Matter क्या चीज होती है, साइंस वाले स्टूडेंट्स जानते हैं, matter is a made up of a atom and others. Okay, so this philosophy, they apply the natural laws to the whole human experience. It was given by the renowned educationist and philosopher Jean Jacques Rousseau, right? And what are the three aims of a naturalism? Three aims of a naturalism is self-expression, child-centered, and freedom of the child. Naturalism emphasizes that education should be like that. There should be a self-expression into the student, right? And education should be such type, it should cater the needs and interest of the student. Means we have to teach to the student according to their level, according to their interest. So education should be child centered. Naturalism philosophy says that everything, ये जो buildings हैं, schools हैं, colleges हैं, जो each and everything, it is made for the student. Student is not made for the, it is made for the child. Child is not made for them. So whatever we have to teach to the student, we have to teach to the child according to their level. We have to cater the needs of the child. This is a second aim of education of the naturalism. Third is freedom of the child. We have to give the more and more freedom to the child. So under this topic, you have to explain in 3 or 4 lines, okay, all the 3 aims of naturalism, which you will get the PDF file. Under the freedom of the child, you have to write that this philosophy says that learn the child from the nature. Jean Jacques Rousseau, who was founder of this naturalism, he says that he was against the negative education. What was a negative education? Negative education means naturalism philosophy emphasizes that do not put the child a formal lesson up to the age of 7. Naturalism says that 7 year की एज तक किसी भी बच्चे को किसी भी स्कूल में एडमिट मत करवाओ, राइट? ये जो सिस्टम है kindergarten ka, right? LKG, MKG, UKG. Guys, are you listening? So this system, it was created by the Froebel. Froebel was a naturalist person. He created this system, LKG, MKG, and UKG, right? So they says that this philosophy says that we shouldn't give any formal lesson to the student up to the age of a 7. Right? So we have to give more and more to the more and more freedom to the child, so that child should learn from the nature, right? Guys, Rabindranath Tagore हैं जो, Rabindranath Tagore, he was a great naturalist. अभी भी आप देखेंगे कलकत्ता के साइड there are so many colleges and universities over there, जो educations है, educations अभी भी वहां पे नेचुरलिस्टिक वे में ही करवाई जाती है, यानी कि पेड़ के नीचे बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, ठीक है? देयर इज ए नो वॉल, कोई वॉल वगैरह सिस्टम वगैरह नहीं है. सो वी हैव टू गिव मोर फ्रीडम टू द चाइल्ड. सो दीज आर द 3 एम्स ऑफ नेचुरलिज्म, राइट? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चंस, फोर्थ क्वेश्चंस came into your last question paper, role of Sikhism in education. So under this you have to write Sikhism is a philosophy. It is a 15th century philosophy. Okay, the founder of this philosophy is Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and this philosophy continues to the progress through the 10 successive Sikh gurus. Okay, and after that the holy scripture Shri Guru Granth Sahib of Sikhs was declared as the Guru. Okay, and what is the Sikhism philosophy in education? According to this philosophy, there should be a 2 aims of education. One is individual aim and second is the social aim. So according to the individual aim, this philosophy, Sikhism philosophy, says that education should be such like that there should be a development of self-realization. Education should lead to the self-realization. Such type of education should be there according to the first principle of this Sikhism philosophy. And second principle of this philosophy, social aim of education. According to social aim of education, Sikhism philosophy considers that there should be a equality in society. Means education should be such type that there should be a equality in society, because this philosophy, this Sikhism philosophy believes that we all are brother and sisters on this planet. So there should be a equality in society. So these things you have to write under this question. Fifth question, meaning of existentialism. It came into the last year paper. What is existentialism? So existentialism is a philosophy which emphasizes that individual existence. This philosophy gives more and more emphasis on the man's existence. It was a reaction against the naturalism and idealism philosophy. You have to remember. Okay, this philosophy talks about the man's existence. This philosophy says that reality lies in the existence of an individual. There is no ultimate reality. In the last lecture, we have discussed under the idealism, there is a ultimate reality and reality lies in the idea. But this philosophy says that reality lies in the existence of an individual. And according to this philosophy, what is world? Existentialism says that a person's world is that what person chooses it to be. Okay, so there is a different word for each of the persons, right? They do not believe on the God. This philosophy, existentialism philosophy, do not believe on the God. The founder of this philosophy is Soren Kierkegaard. Soren Kierkegaard, it is a founder of this philosophy, right? This philosophy says that there was no knowledge before the existence of man, and there will be no knowledge after him. All he knows by choices. The point of choice is key choice. Last देखिए, last bullet, see the last bullet. Knowledge कहां से आती है? Existentialism says that knowledge originates कहां से? From the conscious feeling से, हमारी choices से. Okay, whatever we choose, whatever our choices, whatever we decide with the help of a experience which we have got during the life, we get the knowledge. This philosophy says that, right? Sixth question came into the last year paper. Discuss the Islamic traditions briefly. So under this you have to write that about the Islamic and the Islamic traditions. You have to tell that Islamic is the second largest religious tradition in the world, and Muhammad Hazrat Sahib was the last prophet of this religion. They came in 7th century, and whatever he have received from the God, he has written, he has recorded into the one holy scripture, and the name of a holy scripture is Quran. Just like in the Bible we see that all the philosophy of the Jesus Christ and other disciples. So in this philosophy, Islamic philosophy, okay, whatever Muhammad Hazrat Sahab got from the God, he has recorded into the Quran. So according to Islamic philosophy, they believe that Allah has created this universe. Allah means God. Okay, they believe that God is shapeless, omnipresent, and powerful. He is creator, he is a destroyer. He has created each and everything. Allah is only one, no one is equal to the God. And he also believes that, this philosophy also believes that there are also so many spirits created by the God, and at the end they will go back to the God. Right, guys? And about the community, actually in the beginning there was only a one form of a Islamic religion, and after that many communities developed. You have to write under such type of a question when comes discuss Islamic traditions briefly. You have to tell there are 4 communities under the Islamic religion, Sunni, Shia, Sufi and Al-Hadith. Sunni, Shia, Sufi and fourth is Al-Hadith. Sunni जो community है, Sunni community forces on the worship, right? This type of a community, they give more and more emphasis on the worshipping the god, right? Shia जो है, it forces on the sanitations of a body and the purity of the mind, right? And Sufi, it talks about more and more knowledge, by singing and others, they get more and more knowledge. And Al Hadith community, it forces on maximum on the equality. But the main thing is that these all the four community, they believe only one Allah, ya one God, which is Hazrat Muhammad Sahib. They believe that he was the last prophet, a prophet or Rasul, right? And what are the Islamic traditions? These are the Islamic traditions. 5 times they have to give the namaz every day, right? They have to give the donation in the name of the Allah. They have to, in the holy month of Ramzan, they have to, take the fast and celebrate the Eid, Ramzan and others. Hajj is also there. Every Muslim is required to go to the Hajj once in the lifetime. Okay. And they believe in the Shariat. What is a Shariat? Basically social law based on the religions and follow it. They believe on the Shariat. Marriage rituals क्या हैं इनके Islamic traditions के? उसमें क्या होता है? Groom होता है, वो formal invitations या formal offer देता है marriage के लिए, and bride has to accept it, right? After that वली महा जो है receptions होता है, which includes the music and dancing. So in this questions you have to write all this about the Islam community and the Islamic traditions, right guys? Next question is that write any 3 principles of a Sankhya philosophy. This is an Indian philosophy. So under this question, the answer, you have to talk about the Sankhya philosophy and you have to explain what are the 3 principles given by the Sankhya philosophy. So first understand about the Sankhya philosophy. This is one of the oldest Indian philosophy. ये oldest Indian philosophy है. It talks about the ultimate 2 realities. 2 realities की talks करती है, बात करती है. One is Prakriti and second is Purush. According to this philosophy, there are 2 ultimate reality. Prakriti means matter या nature और Purush means होता है self. Okay? Matter क्या चीज है? What is a matter? Matter is a non-living element और पुरुष जो सेल्फ है, स्पिरिट है, स्पिरिट इज ए लिविंग एलिमेंट होती है. ओके, दिस फिलॉसफी सेज दैट व्हेन द प्रकृति एंड द पुरुष केम इनटू कांटेक्ट, यूनिवर्स क्रिएटेड. राइट, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में आई शो यू. प्रकृति मीन्स मैटर, नॉन लिविंग एलिमेंट. नंबर सेकंड, पुरुष मीन्स सेल्फ, स्पिरिट, लिविंग एलिमेंट. ओके, व्हेन दे केम कांटेक्ट विद ईच अदर, यानी कि प्रकृति और पुरुष when they came contact with each other, universe or creation created. Okay, and what are the 3 principles of a Sankhya philosophy? 3 principles of a Sankhya philosophy is that this creation is made up of a combination of a prakriti and purush, right guys? Second, human combination is a prakriti of purush. प्रकृति और पुरुष के कॉम्बिनेशन से ही ह्यूमन एग्जिस्ट हुए हैं. इनफैक्ट ये सारा का सारा यूनिवर्स ही एग्जिस्ट हुआ है. And the ultimate objective of human birth क्या है? Salvation. Salvation means mukti. According to this Sankhya philosophy, the ultimate objective of human birth is salvations. So right guys, so these are your 7 or 8 questions which I have explained to you, and soon I'll after the class I will send you the PDF copy of